Good morning. It is what time? 6:54. Is that right? A.m. on Thursday, January 17th, 2019. My brain keeps wanting me to say July for some reason. I mean, it's still a J sound, but I wonder why July. I don't know. Subconsciously, I'm wanting it to be summer. I don't know. I'm not even sure that's true. You know, if it was tied to something like back home instead of here, that would be one thing. I don't know. Anyway, I'm Christiana Ellis, and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. I have weirdly felt much of this week like I'm not getting much done in the evenings, and I'm not sure what, if anything, feels like it changed. I think one thing that I can kind of, as I interrogate my own brain impressions, I think that when I spend an evening playing Red Dead Redemption, my brain is counting that as accomplishing something. Maybe because just even if only in a virtual world, I am going around and doing things, and the story advances and it moves forward, and somehow in my brain that translates to some kind of an accomplishment, whereas watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine or the new Dice Camera Action is what I watched last night. Those doing those somehow don't feel in my brain like I've accomplished something. I think it's actually not fair of myself to have that impression of myself, because I also last night continued to experiment with the Apple Pencil. I'll probably share this picture on Twitter, but I can just pull it up on the iPad real quick. What I did last night is, if you follow me on Twitter or Facebook, you may have seen me post my picture of my new hat. Well, one of the things that the Apple Pencil combined with the appropriate app can do is start with an image layer of a photo, and then you could, like, draw over it, like tracing it. And so I did that with that photo. Yeah. And I don't think I'm great, but as a proof of principle, like I'll probably post that picture as well. So I did do that while watching the latest Dice Camera Action. And also, I think that I've had a general impression of my evenings as not being as long, like I'm not having as much time to do things. And I'm not really sure where that impression's coming from, because when I actually kind of like do the math of it, it's really not any different. Oh, the other thing that I did last night actually is I had dinner with one of my coworkers at a TGI Fridays. And the menu was pretty much what you'd expect. Sometimes, like when you go to a familiar brand in a foreign country, like McDonald's or Burger King or something like that, you do see that there are some unusual menu items that you don't expect from the equivalent menu back in the States. Here it didn't really seem like that. I mean, the menu was in Korean, but it had pictures and in English little subtext in there, so there wasn't any problem ordering for sure. But it was also pretty much the stuff that you would expect. And so I had beef fajitas. It was expensive. But, it was definitely, so me and the coworker that were there, we each got a cocktail, and then we each ordered an entree and got one appetizer. And it was pretty pricey compared to, I think, the equivalent meal in the United States. But, it was good. Kind of a novelty of sorts to have something that's kind of almost banal back in the States, but to have it here instead as a little bit of a change of pace. So did that, and last night, and then when I got back, I was watching Dice Camera Action, as I said, and working on that drawing. And then I went to bed relatively early, and that's my evening last night. And so I'm not sure why that evening. I don't know. I think that plus a couple of, maybe what it is that I do have a sense that there are actual projects that I could be working on and haven't been. And that's the sense of not getting anything done. Because I've just been doing different things other than what my brain thinks ought to be on the agenda. And even playing Red Dead Redemption 2 maybe counts just because I've kind of set for myself a task of going ahead and getting the story finished. Anyway, so I think I'll go ahead and leave it there for today, and I will talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.